it's me again, Elaine. Today we're going to talk about keeping content flowing on a busy schedule. Most, if not all moms, lead busy lives.
I didn't realize this at first when I made the decision to get pregnant.
I thought I could just wing motherhood when it's there. What was I thinking? Of course, I don't regret being a mother. I love this role with every bit of my being. There were just some things about motherhood that I didn't expect at all and was not totally prepared for. One of them is the busyness that comes with the role. You see, we all know that moms have so much responsibilities on them, and when you're a mom and you're also trying to work at the same time, or when you're like me and you're trying to create content, overwhelm can so easily be your birth for the year. Even those who are moms, or even the men who have big dreams, would know that at some point we become so busy trying to figure out our goals and how we can achieve them, we don't know how to make sense of it all. So with all these activities in our plates, how can we keep the content flowing? Here are some tips. Number one, schedule in advance. You might have seen this across many blogs already, but scheduling content ahead of time does wonders for your sanity. And of course, there are people among us who are sprinters or procrastinators who love a good deadline to keep them on their toes. I'm a sprinter. I used to lean wildly on the procrastinating end, but I decided that I wanted better things in my life than to constantly put off things when I can do them right now. I also think it comes with becoming a mom. I mean, moms always tell you to do the things now rather than do it later, right? I think I'm becoming that mom. Anyhow, I tried scheduling all of my posts and content for the next 3 months within less than a month. Crazy, right? But it's actually fun doing and batching all this work, and I'm excited for when this content shows online to you. But also, I'm a little reluctant with people's reactions. But I understand that I have to put stuff out there in order to help others, in order to help you, and in order to go after my goals. So schedule in advance, use a calendar, and keep it tight and simple. Number two is to batch it up. Hi, so when I looked at my phone, I found that the battery has just died and I wasn't able to complete the thoughts that I was sharing with you, so I'm just going to make use of what I have now. Rest in peace to that battery. Anyway, the number two tip was to batch it up. So as I've mentioned, I've been batching my content for the next 3 months. I know I should have started sooner during the month, but you know how life gets in the way, right? So when life activities happen, you can batch content so that you're only focused on that kind of content. So the way you batch it is you work on the bulk of your activities that are under the same category. So for example, you have admin stuff, you can work on that in 1 day, or if you have content creation or writing stuff, you can work with that within 2 days probably, or less, just 1 day for you if you want. Like when I was writing my blog post for the next 3 months, I was doing it in a co-working space, and I found that I had more focus there because, you know, as a mom, you're always thinking about your kid. Even when she's just in the other room, you're always worrying about her, and you're still worrying about her when you're in a co-working space. But being farther away from her and knowing that her dad is taking care of her, that's a little bit comforting for you, and you get to focus more on the work that you're trying to do. And then you can also batch edit your content later too. So this is a good tactic for when you feel less energetic during certain times of the month, so you can batch content when you're feeling more productive. You know how it is with rebels, right? We tend to want to use the strategy of convenience all the time, so you have to do what's best for you and work with what you have and with who you are. Number three is to connect with people to unwind from solo work. When you're so busy, like when you're doing some writing or coding, if you're a programmer, you sometimes forget to unwind, right? And I know that for introverts, we don't really like talking to other people as much as extroverts, and we spend so much energy when we try to communicate or when we try to talk to other people. But it's also important for your mental health that you actually interact, and also it has its benefits. You might find fresh new ideas and perspectives during your conversation, and that's a good thing. Number four is to know your period for women and to know yourself for men. So for women, knowing when you get your period is kind of important. Because of our hormones, there will be specific times of the month when you're feeling so productive and outgoing, and there will also be times when you just can't seem to get ourselves out of the house. Knowing these times or when these times will occur are vital because they help you schedule your activities accordingly and work better on days when you're your best self, as opposed to just scheduling randomly without taking into consideration your nature as a woman. For men, it's also important to know yourself. They say men's hormones are wired so that their peak energy is during the morning and it wanes all throughout the day, and then the lowest is at night. And these same things happen every day for men. So for males, every day is pretty much the same. Men don't have to look forward to peak times during the month, and that's their advantage. I do believe that each role has an advantage. We are all wired differently, and if we just work with what we have and who we know we are, we can make life and work much more bearable and much more in alignment to the things that light us up. So in conclusion, always work with what you've got where you are. Like right now, I didn't realize that my battery had just died, and so I just had to do this using the front camera on my phone. And now my daughter is also here inside the same room with me, and thankfully she's being quiet for now. I've always believed in working with what you've got where you are, and yet sometimes I forget. Sometimes I make excuses and not actually work and go for the life that I want. I mean, that's okay too, as long as you remember what it is that you want to make happen and go for it in little ways every day. Set aside time for the work that you love doing, and work will be what it is. One day it's good, other days not so much. Just because you're working in something you love doesn't mean that you never get tired or you don't burn out or that things will always be easygoing. There will be tough days and days when you question if this really is for you. And when those times come, take a step back and remember your goals. Remember what you want out of life. Remember who you are, and then work and move and act from there. That's about it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe and click the like button down below if you like this, and if you don't, that's okay. And okay, that's it for now. See you. Bye. The light is changing. Convenience. For women, knowing your period with others, social interaction. My daughter's calling out.